Hello, hello. Test, test. Let's see if this works. No, I'm not going to cut this out because that's stupid. Then again, lots of things are. Doesn't make them any less worthy. Can I see me? I don't know. That's really far. Mm, I don't think I want that much distance. Yeah. But there's no good place over there to actually sit. Gotta find a better venue. Oh, but I really like this one. Maybe right there. Yeah. Wonder if I can pause and then like continue recording because ooh, this is steep. Can I? We'll find out. Okay, test, test. Let's go again. Whee! Into the only burning pit of sunshine. Wonder if you can see me well. This is not a comfortable spot, but that's okay. Um, Lots of things in life aren't comfortable. Kind of like my flip flops here in the woods. Uh, the reason I have gathered you all today here at this meeting this is to discuss the most prevalent topic of which is currently very popular. Um, Please take your seats. Make sure you've clocked in for this meeting. No, but it's funny. Like, it's really, really funny. I watched a video, it was a short on YouTube about how this person will treat somebody who, and they used the word psychopath. I think they actually meant sociopath. Um, but I just, in the comments, I'm like, yeah, I'm a psychopath and this, that, and the other. Um, and nobody believes me. Isn't that funny? Like one did, but I mean, I'm sure like several of people have saw it and went, yeah, whatever. But a few people took the time to actually comment and just say that, no, I'm not. One even called me a crybaby, which is really funny. He said I was a crybaby and immature and out of control, right? That's really, really funny. Um, I said, no, I mean, major depressive disorder does make me sad, but mainly it's loneliness that makes me sad. And that's what I was describing in my comment. It doesn't necessarily make me a crybaby, but sure, whatever. Um, Not in control, buddy. No. If there were not consequences to my actions, oh man, the world would be a lot quieter for sure. Uh, because I value quiet, and humans are very noisy. But no, I actually care about my freedom, so I don't do those kinds of things. Not necessarily that I care about other people's lives, because what are they using it for anyway? I should, and I know that I should, but it's more like I like picking out what socks I use every day. Um, oh, that's terrible. No, what's terrible is knowing that, like, out of the statistics, like, something like 60% of murders go unsolved forever. Yeah. And, like, thinking about, like, well, how would you get away with it? I mean, some of it has got to be, like, logistical, just like somebody dropped the ball, right? A good portion of it has to be that, but, like, the other portion of it has to be, well, they were good at it, right? I mean, there's a story of up here, really, actually, fairly close to where I live, a woman who was hiking on the Appalachian Trail and just only took a few steps off to go and use the bathroom and didn't get found for years. And she was literally 5 steps from the trail with a bright red tarp. I mean, she wrote her journal till her very last day, and like, it's shocking how easily people can go missing. I'm not saying I would ever do that. I'm saying that, like, I talked with a guy and he said, don't put them in a barrel because it'll explode due to all of, like, the decomposing matter and the gases that build up. And then cadaver dogs just find it way too easy. Somebody else told me, oh yeah, you bury an 8-foot deep grave. You obviously lime and salt it, and well, you don't salt it, but you do put lime to help keep down, like, but calcium would work better to help keep the smell down. And then you put your dirt, and don't put a tarp, don't put anything unnatural except the tarp that you're using to put your dirt on, because you want the top surface to be the same top surface that was there before you dug. And then you put a dead animal in, and you put more dirt, and then you put endangered, like, plants on top so that they can't dig it up. It's like, I didn't even come up with that. Somebody else came up with that. And it's like, wow, that's a pretty good one, actually. I mean, I'm not saying I ever would. I have done terrible things in the past. Absolutely. Have I ever endangered someone's life? Yes. Did I do it on purpose? No. I was unaware of the consequences. However, I also have endangered other people's lives knowing the consequence. However, they endangered mine first. Vengeance is funny like that, right? But it's all child's play, right? Like, I was below the age of 18, and well, like I said, they endangered my life first, and they weren't really in danger. Like, the alligator's mouth was taped shut, and it was only 4 feet in a 10-foot camper. And I only padlocked it from the outside because I couldn't padlock it from the inside. What? That's crazy. Only a lot. And people go, well, they looked up psychopath on, one of the comments was, well, they looked up what psychopath was on Google and just, self-diagnosed. No, actually. Let's see, it would have been, what year was that? It would have been around 2007 or 8. I went to the dean of the psychology department and I said, look, I'm clearly depressed. I need to get some help. He goes, you mind if we evaluate you? I'm like, absolutely, go for it. The more knowledge we have, like, the better we can treat me, right? He's like, yeah. And so they did this exhaustive test because it's a college, man. Free subject. Awesome. They even consented. And, like, we do all this exhaustive testing. I mean, it's like over a week. And at the end of it, they come back and they go, so it's not just depression. And this is the psychiatrist, the doctor, right? I wish these ants would stop crawling on my feet. I don't know where they come from, but they're everywhere. I should have worn actual shoes. My bad. But he says that, so it's not just depression. You do have depression. You have major depressive disorder, but you have something that's not in the DSM-5 yet. It'll be coming out shortly, but yeah. So basically, you have all of the apathy and none of the empathy. I go, oh, so I don't give a damn and I don't care to give a damn? He's like, yeah, pretty much. And I go, so what's that mean? He goes, well, they haven't, like, put it in the DSM yet, but it's pretty popular. It's borderline personality disorder. And I go, okay, so what's that mean? And we go through it a little bit. And yeah, I had that diagnosis for a long time. However, medicines weren't helping. No antidepressant was helping. No mood stabilizers. Mood stabilizers made it worse for some reason. And, like, sleep aids and muscle relaxers and neurologics, and, like, I got addicted to opioids at one point. Like, that's how bad that this whole thing has gotten, right? And recently, this past year, I had to, go get some inpatient help. It was pretty bad. I mean, not as bad as it could have been, obviously. I didn't hurt anybody or myself. Like, yeah. A lot of the other clients were like, I don't even know why you're here. Even the doctor said, yeah, you don't really fit here. Like, I know. Made a really bad joke and told the cop to just shoot me in the head because I'm tired. That'll do it. And it did. So, um, except I kind of meant it. Like, I'm that tired, really. Like, if my life expired tomorrow, what would I care? Um, if I just dropped dead right here, just nobody would care. Nobody would notice for a while too, because nobody cares. Um, I can see why. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard to care for me, I guess. Like, okay. But I care for everyone else. I am everyone else's rock. I hold everything together. The second my shit falls apart, though, and I get a little upset, holy cow, I bring the whole world down with me, I guess. It's because everybody depends upon me. Because I, I went through a divorce, moved back in with my parents, realized that they are aging out like badly. My mom is showing early onset Alzheimer's, and my dad's aggression has gone way up. But he's also like losing coordination. It's really weird. Um, like just yesterday, he was mowing the lawn at 6:30 p.m. for some goddamn reason and ran over a part of the garden. What? He's always had a little bit of trouble with his eyesight because he has very hooded eyes, but like that's a bit much, my guy. Can I trust you driving? I can't trust my mother driving. So they're aging out, and I took it upon myself because me and my siblings have already had the discussion that I'm going to be caring for them because I hate them the least. Real funny. Not true, but I guess my mask is real good, right? I don't. Okay. Um, but I do work in like well, I don't work specifically in hospice care, but I do work in extended living facilities, right? Nursing homes, retirement homes, whatever you want to call it. I've even worked on a psych ward, but I work as a CNA, so I have a little bit of variance as to what I can do. And I do care for people. I care for people a lot. And most recently, I was told that I care too much. I was actually told because I was not getting along with a nurse. I was getting along with the nurse just fine. She just hated me. Whatever. Um, like, sorry that I had to do your job for you and you're trying to throw your dick around, but maybe if you had done that at 8 a.m. rather than 6 p.m., it wouldn't be an issue. And I didn't say it that way. I should have, maybe. But I ended up having to report her. And so now she doesn't like me. I'm sorry you couldn't do your job. Um, you had plenty of opportunities to. Oh my God, these ants are crawling up my goddamn legs. Um, so I had to switch units. And I was talking with another CNA about it. She goes, "Oh, I see what you're saying. It's because you didn't snap back at her." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Oh no, she treated me the exact same way until I snapped back at her and showed her what's up." She said, "You're too nice." I said, "What?" And the other CNA is just nodding her head. She goes, "You're way too nice. I've seen these like clients scream at you and you just take it and you're fine with them." Like, like, okay, I'm too nice. When did that happen? Um, and when I was at the facility, like, that's the thing. They said that I was nice and compassionate and caring. And that's part of how I ended up leaving. And I wonder how much of it I just tricked people. Um, but I got discharged from the facility. But while I was in there, I was saying that, like, yeah, I should probably get re-diagnosed. And they go, "Well, the reason you're here is the major depressive disorder. We don't want to have to necessarily overstep and do all of that extra." And I'm like, "No, no, no, I get that because, yeah, I want to get out of here." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Previously, though, I've been diagnosed as having borderline personality disorder." He goes, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I mean, maybe I can see a little bit of it, but, you're here, so obviously your emotions are going to be running high. Anybody who's here, that's going to happen too." He goes, "But honestly, you seem pretty level." I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to be." He goes, "Yeah, especially with that other client that shook you awake and you didn't punch him in the face." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I wanted to though." He goes, "Yeah, but you didn't." And I said, "But see, that's why I don't think borderline personality disorder fits, because I don't have like the really quick moving through emotions that is like a signature of it. I don't have a lot of like ups and downs like that. Yeah, I have my downs, but that's the major depressive disorder. He goes, exactly. I said, and I've read the DSM-5, and I know like the 6 coming out, but like yeah, in the next 5 years or something. But I've read the DSM-5. I actually really enjoy reading it. And I read borderline personality disorder, but it's the cluster B type personality disorders that I read through, because schizoaffective is really interesting, and there's so much range of side effects. I mean, and it can be very individualized. However, I was reading about antisocial personality disorder, and that seems to fit a little bit more. It's just the statistics are off. And he goes, yeah, they are. And I go, because he goes, well, the reason they gave you borderline is because you're a woman. And I'm like, is that really all it is? He goes, yeah, pretty much. Because, like, I agree. You're very, I don't mean this anyway, cold. And I go, nope, you're not the first one. And he said, but typically it's males that are given antisocial personality disorder because of it being more logical. However, you are very logical. I mean, just in this discussion and outside of it, but because you're a woman, they gave you borderline personality disorder, even though you're right, that's kind of slippery and it doesn't exactly fit. I would agree with you that you most likely have antisocial personality disorder, but, and I said, but nothing treats it. He goes, yeah. So again, that's kind of a hallmark of it, is that medications don't really treat it. It's not so much a mindset or a brain chemistry. It's, if you read up on it, some of the literature actually has more of like TBIs being the cause of it, which is really interesting, because that's more related to aggression mostly. However, some TBIs, some people who incur them get more of the cold logic, because it just kind of kills their emotions essentially. Now, I do think that I still do obviously have some emotion. However, yeah, after dying, after having a bunch of like TBIs, yeah, I wonder how other people see the world, because I know that I don't see it the same way that others do. Am I a terrible person? I don't think so, but like that's a first person perspective. How would I be able to accurately describe that? However, I've not ended anybody, and I don't have any intention to do so. I just think it would be really easy. What do I mean by easy? Well, I mean, I live in a place where there's, God, ants apparently. Not a lot of cameras. People are just like butt deep in their phones all the time, not even looking up. Do you realize how easy it would just be to trip one of those, make them face plant, and go, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see you there, because I was also on my phone, you know? And they would be like, oh, no, my bad, and like brush it off because I'm cute. Yeah, I could probably get away with it. Could I get away with something worse? Oh, definitely. Go to a bar, pick a fight, go out in the alley, and just, I mean, I have I have settled a bar fight before. It's not hard. It's not hard. And considering how much I know medically, it's really not hard. You just take a good solid right to the diaphragm. If there's no breathing, there's no screaming. And as they naturally come down to hold their stomach, you come up with your knee to the same spot and you interlace your hands and bring them down over their back. And sack of potatoes has the ground taste. It's really easy. If they still somehow manage not to like bend over, you come across with the left hook. And I'm not aiming for your nose, although you're turning it away. I'm aiming for the ocular, and now you've given me the exact position I want, because that bone is actually more fragile. And once your eye's swollen, you can't see straight, and your fight's kind of gone out of you, but not out of me. And I can continue. See that cold logic I'm talking about? Yeah. And it wouldn't bother me. Blood's never bothered me. Bone sticking out of skin is really neat looking. And like, I'm not saying I ever would. I probably could. I wouldn't feel much about it. probably why I do so well in the medical field. I mean, I've had vomit from my shoulder to my shoe, and I mean, like I wear the silk. They're not actual silk. That's just the name of it. Kind of like Gore-Tex isn't, you know, but it wicks moisture. And so when I got vomited on, I could feel it directly on my skin and cold and gross. And like, ugh. But I'm still walking around and doing stuff. Now I can't walk out there and do my job, but like, I'm like, guys, can I just go drive to the Super Shoes and get a new uniform? Like, it'd take less time than you guys finding a replacement in your closet supply somewhere. You know, I mean, oh, hi. Um, but yeah, I, and people just go, you're not a psychopath. Um, do you have this little box? And I'm just not fitting in it because I'm personable? I'm not personable enough, honestly. I have no friends. I'm working on that, man. I've been working on that my whole life. It's difficult. Um, because people get too close and they start to realize something's off. Or the real clever ones, you know, that are like, something isn't right, but they seem nice enough. And I am. I am nice enough. I have made myself that way. I didn't used to care or really have any feelings besides malice. And I realized, well, how does that serve me? It doesn't. So I've worked on that. That's how all my effort goes. How does it serve me? Yeah, that's really like self centered. But I mean, I have to be because otherwise people take advantage of me. And I've had that in a lot of relationships, not just like romantic ones, but like person to person work relationships, even. And so it's a way of protecting myself. I mean, my dad, that's the one thing he taught me. He's a sociopath, by the way. Like, he is a genuine, he hits a lot of the markers. The only thing that man ever taught me is look out for number one, nobody else will. My grandfather, on the other hand, taught me patience. And I remember being resistive and being like, why? Why do I need it? Why don't others? He goes, well, they do. They just don't have it. And you can only work on yourself. And we're going to work on patience because you will need it. He also told my mother when I was 6 to watch that one more carefully. She doesn't get even, she gets ahead. What 6-year-old does that? Me. Oh, you pushed me to the ground? We'll see about that a little bit later, don't worry. How about I loop your backpack on the fire alarm when you try to push me away from the water fountain and then push you into it, and then when you come back to try and get me, like, because I pushed you into the fire alarm, now you're coming back at me and oops, it pulled it. My hands are clean. Or egg somebody on to the point where they just, yank you up and just start going at you. Yeah, come on, come on, come on. Harder. And then the principal walks by. My feet aren't touching the ground and my back's to the wall. Just getting, just like, oh, yeah, do it harder. Come on. Make me feel it. Yeah, I'm that person. I mean, man, I miss getting punched. That's weird to say, isn't it? Messed up part is I'm a parent. I'm only a part-time parent, unfortunately. I'm going to try for more because literally she is the only thing I have ever loved on this entire planet and never will love. And if anybody ever touches her in a wrong way, they won't have a hand anymore. Uh-huh. And I try to teach her some things, like other people are really mean to you because they are hurting on the inside and that's the only way they can get it out. So it is their fault. They shouldn't treat you that way, but you have to have a little bit of pity for them. And I'm not saying pity for myself. No, no, no. Somebody else was being mean to her. No, no pity for the devil over here. No, I was made this way, and I have tried not to be. I will never ever hurt another person. I will not do that because I know that once you cross that line, you can't go back to being human, right? Now, that's not to say somebody gives me enough goddamn reason, it won't happen. But that's going to have to be a lot of reason. And I have an ex right now. Still no. Okay? That man tried to destroy me. Um, Told me what a piece of garbage I was multiple times a day, every day, and did not understand postpartum depression or that I had depression at all, and told me that he couldn't be happy if I wasn't happy, which, by the way, that's not how emotional maturity works. Coming from a psychopath, and I know that's not how emotional maturity works, okay? Um, but yeah, then as after I gave birth, and it was hard, I died for 6 minutes, okay? Maybe I had a bit of a hard time with that C-section. I don't know, God. But like then telling me also that I'm a terrible mother because I'm having trouble waking up at 5 a.m. to feed her when that's what time he has to get up for work. Yeah. And like I said, making excuses to tell me what garbage I was when I already feel insufficient. Um, yeah, just not supportive at all. And actually, very mentally abusive. It almost got to being physically abusive because, you know, he did punch holes in things. See what I mean where I have to protect myself because people take advantage? I even said that, like, after going through all the fertility stuff and I was told that I was sterile, I said I don't even want to try anymore. I'm done. You know what, maybe I wouldn't be a good parent anyway. Maybe this is a good option. And he kept forcing himself. Um yeah. Even when I said no, I don't want to. I'm tired. No, I don't feel good. No, and toward the end of the relationship, he said, and you keep refusing sex. And I said, because I don't feel like it. It's nothing against you. You're fine. It's me. I don't feel like it. And sex isn't all that there is to the relationship. You have to actually respect and want the person's personality as well, because looks and physicality are going to fade. And he said, well, it's not all of it, but it's a major part. Nobody, it's the only part for you. And I'm sorry about that. So, yeah, no. No pity for the devil over here. No, 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 no. I don't want pity. I just want people to understand and be a little more caring. Because how am I more compassionate than anybody else I know? And I'm the fucking psycho. Clown world. So, yeah, no, I just wanted to update and kind of go through this a little bit in my head. Because I was really hitting it really hard the other day, mainly because I had a UTI. Did you know those things can affect your brain chemistry? I do. Not just personally, but I knew that before as well. So I was feeling like garbage and didn't know why until I started pissing blood. Uh huh. And I discovered I always thought that I was the ass end of the universe, like the universe's joke, like they're just pushing me to see how hard I can go until I, self delete. That's what I always thought, like, or like God really hates me or really loves me. And my brother laughed and he said, "Well, God must really love you, otherwise you would have not come back from being dead 3 times." I'm like, that's true. So maybe I'm God's favorite, but like favorite in like a Yandari sort of way, like you can't leave me. I didn't say you could go yet. Sort of a possessive way, yeah. Um, but then I was talking with a guy here on, well, not here, but on Twitter, and he said, "Yeah." I said, "Nothing matters. Nothing matters. Nobody pays attention, and nothing matters. Therefore, I am free." And he said, "That's not true." He said, "Because you being here simply affects everything. When you breathe, when you move, when you make a decision or a choice, it affects everything." I said, "Oh, butterfly effect." Like, yeah, I guess so. Um, but I mean, I don't know how much I believe in that one. But like, yeah, I can see it. I can absolutely see the grounds for that. I said, I guess so in that sense. Like, I am worthy of something. I don't know what, but we'll find out, right? I mean, I I don't have to take my own life because the universe has tried to do it so many times. Like, I'm surprised we haven't succeeded yet. But like I said, yandere sort of thing. Death is just over there going, dang it, no, get over here. Death is a place, by the way. It's a very calm, comforting place. I mean, like total comfort. It is something I have only ever felt once before in my life. And that's the key to my sadness, is not necessarily loneliness, but a lack of comfort. I'm so stressed out all the time. And so that kind of makes sense. But loneliness too. There's nobody else like me. And even if there were, I wouldn't want to be around them. I'm kind of crazy, you know? Not really. I mean, I'm very logical. I'm not crazy like in the manic sense. Though, as fast and rapidly I've gone through this conversation, you wouldn't think so. It's just the hyperactive attention deficit disorder. So, like, my brain moves a lot faster than my words ever will. But as a result of that conversation of the butterfly effect, I was thinking about it. And a few days later, I realized I am not at the ass end of the universe and life is just shitting on me. No, 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 far from it. Because more of my recent issues, and it's been an issue that pops up fairly frequently, of not getting along with a coworker or some other interpersonal relationship, into the effect where they hate me and I have done nothing wrong to them. Right? And this just happens sometimes. And I've tried to figure out what it is. Yeah, I'm slick and cool and all, and like I have a very laissez-faire attitude. So I'm over here a bad boy, looking like one even a little bit too. I mean, with the shoulders and the short hair. But I'm not a man, and that frustrates a lot of women, by the way. Those are the ones that are more aggro. I'm not even kidding about it. But I realized also that, like, I'm not at the butt end of the universe. I am actually more of a karmic battery. Right? Right, because these people who treat me like absolute garbage and just keep on keeping on, eventually somebody else who sees it from the outside goes, you realize this person doesn't like you and you've been nothing but nice to them. What's going on here? And I go, oh, don't worry about it. They will hurt themselves. All I have to do is sit around and wait for it and write them up. They go, what? And I go, everybody thinks I'm dumb. I have these hooded eyes. I get it, right? And I'm kind of slow learner. I get it. People think I'm stupid. But people like that, it's not just me that they treat poorly. It's everyone. And somebody isn't going to put up with their shit. Now, whether or not it's me is something completely different. But it will eventually catch up with them. And they'll slip up. And all I have to do is be here to write it up. And I told somebody that. And they go, oh my God, you're way fucking wicked smart. That's scary. I'm like, I just have to be patient. And there it is, right? I've been taught patience my whole life. Patience is my penance. And so that's why people don't catch on. Because I'm patient and I'm kind. Now, there are a few times where people have just gotten on my last nerve and I eventually snap at them, but I make sure it's fucking public. I want witnesses. Because everyone else has seen you treat me like dirt for the longest time, and then they finally get to see me snap and they go, oh, they do have a backbone. Don't fuck with that one. Yeah, I'm never wrong. Well, that's not true, obviously, but I try to make sure I'm in the wrong as little as possible. Oh no, am I a master manipulator? Maybe. I wouldn't consider myself a master, no. There's people far better than me. But so I'm a karmic battery. People just pile on and treat me like dirt, and eventually karma catches up to them, whether or not that karma is me, most often not. So I'm not at the butt end of the universe. I'm not the joke. I'm not the desire of some wicked God. I don't think the Judeo-Christian God is necessarily all that wicked, but come on. I mean, you've read the Old Testament, right? And all religions, pretty much, all of them tell you, just don't be a dick, right? Don't murder, don't be a dick. Yeah, try to be a good person and you'll make it. It'll be fine. Okay. So, yeah, I studied religion and philosophy. I want to learn how to be a good person, not just through ethics and philosophy and morality, which, by the way, that changes frequently. No, I wanted to learn how to be human. And psychology is a good way of doing that, and so is, gross anatomy. Um, Shockingly, other people don't put in that kind of effort. We don't come with a user manual, and you are using your meat snorkel wrong. And it bothers me. But yeah, I just wanted to update, like, what do people, oh, hi. God, you're beautiful. I do want to help people realize that psychopath is not this little bitty box of like mass murderers. And psychopath doesn't necessarily mean I'm a bad person. Yeah, it's a big looming cloud, but I choose to do the right thing. I choose to be kind. Kindness is a choice, and you're making me regret my choices. You know? I mean, I don't think people get me because they don't. That's why I'm alone. Uh oh. And sometimes I get a little bit edgy about it. Yeah, because like it grates on you like wet sand rubbed into an open wound. Yeah, with all the brine and salt and bacteria too. Like, what are you expecting? And so it wears me down, and so I break down a little bit. And because I have such a life where so many people actually are supported by myself, when I start to break down, the world comes with me, and I'm at fault every time. It's I don't think of myself as better or higher than anybody else, but it's the same simile of the crown is heavy. Same thing. I I don't think of myself as any of that, but apparently others do. Because the minute I start to break down and have a bad day, the world falls apart. Everybody is all of a sudden angry at me, and they're falling apart and they can't support themselves. And but the second I just start to ignore it and stuff it down and like pretend like it's not an issue, or try to work through it without like outwardly doing so, oh, everything's fine again. Magic. Until I'm specifically angry at somebody, and then they are piteous, trying to grab my attention in a positive way. And I just think, yeah, buddy, maybe you shouldn't have tipped that over. No, you think? Like, just treat me human. That'd be rad. That would be so rad if people would just treat me as a human. But like I said, I'm surrounded by other crazy people, so of course I feel a little crazy. Um, yeah. My parents raised me to think that all emotions are bad and to stuff them down. Now, I know that stuffing them down and compartmentalizing them is not good for your soul. Um, but you do have to feel your feelings, take the task at hand, and work through it, work over it. However, the second I show emotion in front of either of them, it's a bad time, because all emotions are bad. You could be laughing, it'd still be bad. Yep. So when I say I was raised by sociopaths, I actually mean it. They both hit a lot of the markers. And I always wonder, like, is it just, am I a psychopath, or is it just the abuse? And the thing is, it's part and parcel. It's both. One feeds into the other. And so I get very tired when I am trying so hard to be a good person, and I eviscerate myself and empty myself for others. And everyone knows that your well of compassion and patience, eventually runs out and you have to refill it with, self care and time. And I don't know if mine has ever refilled. Like, I don't, it's hard to describe, but I turn myself inside out and pour myself out for others, and nobody ever does it in return. Nobody. There was one, but like that was a very long time ago. He's been dead for 32 years, right? So that's the impact of loneliness, is that I had someone who cared, and no one does anymore. Or they just never did to begin with, and I lost the only one that I had, really. And he knew what kind of a monster I was. I mean, look at what he told my mother when I was 6. And he knew that I'd need patience and a little bit of guidance. But he loved me anyway, even though I'm a monster. His last words to me were, "I'm sorry." And he had done nothing wrong. He was sorry that he was leaving me alone. And he was right. But that's still nothing to be sorry for. That's nothing he had control over. But I just try to be a good person, man. And people don't realize that that is no simple task. It is effort every day. I started at a deficit and you all started already happy. And I'm over here barely keeping up, but putting in twice the effort. And then the second I can't keep up the effort anymore, I'm blamed for it and villainized and treated even worse than I already am. And some days I do wonder how far before I snap. But I'm not that person, and I'm not going to be that person. So yeah. So you keep going on thinking I'm not a psychopath. You keep looking at this mask like it is absolute. Sure, you do that. Don't worry, I'm a happy little spitfuck over here, just doing the best that I can. I'm sorry I'm slow. Yeah. Customer service, how can I help you? Uh-huh. So yeah. Yeah. Just know that I will always do better. Always. And just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. It just means I'm really good at it. Okay. Yeah. I gotta go get something to drink. It's really hot out. Um, and I got some laundry to do. And I gotta lay down and stop feeling like garbage. Because, man, venlafaxine just kind of knocks your butt down. Mm-hmm. But I'm told that I gotta be doing stuff. Like, I feel like trash. Ooh, my tailbone. That's not good. Ooh. Did I ever tell you that I broke my tailbone in multiple places and it looks really weird on an x-ray? And so when I sit for too long, uh, stuff goes numb. Like my toes have been numb this whole time. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. You'll catch me saying that a lot. It's fine. It's fine. Not because it is, but because it has to be. So, yep. Hey, how you like my shins? Shaky can. Yeah. Ooh, the woods are so pretty. Hey, can we see the mountain? Can we see the mountain? No, not really. Oh, I'm so sorry. I turned this from landscape to whatever. Stupid. Um, but yeah, I just don't think people realize, like, they go, no, you're not. You sure about that? I wouldn't be so sure. Maybe I should just take it as a compliment, right? Take the compliment. You're that good at hiding it. Oh well. Does it even matter what other people think? Not really. And even if it did, you can only let it affect you so much. Like, you have to be personable enough to have connections and get along in the universe. However, you don't have to really care what their opinions are because opinions aren't facts. But then again, their perception of you is an opinion, so we're about 50-50. Um, these damn ants keep crawling up my legs and feet and stuff, and that's my own fault for wearing sandals, but my feet sweat, okay? I'm gonna crawl back across the gully here. Gullies? I mean, it's washouts. And then I'm gonna go back inside, maybe change my shirt because, like, this is supposed to be like getting rid of heat, but it is not. And yeah, I got shit to do. I always got shit to do though, so I don't really feel like doing it. But I'm rambling. This whole thing has been rambling, hasn't it? Ew, I like shiny. Gross. Ugh. Anyway, maybe I should take a shower. Uh, just took one yesterday. It's like 1,000 degrees. uh, and yet I can't lose any weight as much as I sweat. It's because it's not fat. It's muscle. You just can't tell because of the Ehlers-Danlos making me doughy because connective tissue is too stretchy. So getting muscle definition and firmness in the muscles that are built from connective tissue is not going to happen. I can see my linea alba, so I know I have abs. Where are they? Being pushed out by my intestines. Like, what? I can move 400 pounds unassisted. The only time my back hurts is when somebody's over 300 pounds and I gotta pull them by myself. I can lift 100 pounds, deadlift. So, like, yeah, like, I'm not fat. Not really. I really would like to get down to BMI, but that's pretty much impossible. Ask anybody who has any muscle. Like, seriously. I mean, look at my neck. Yeah, you think that's fat? Like, it is incredibly muscular, and it's the only reason I'm alive. I broke my neck at the Atlas and in between C5 and C6. How do you think you live from that? The Ehlers-Danlos, so that, the stuff didn't get severed. Thank you so much, Ant. Just bit me. And also from the muscle that I had built up, prevented anything from shifting too far. Yeah, that's why I get called surf from the back a lot. I got shoulders and thighs. And yet I still don't have an hourglass figure. Oh well. Third time's a charm. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna post this just because, like, yeah, it's obviously not going to be a typical sighting in the wild of a psychopath. No, it's my personal experience. So it's going to be more individualized. Duh. That's how psychology actually works, you guys. I've studied it. So yeah. That's why I want to get further into psychology, actually. I can offer a very unique perspective. For sure. like, yeah. Um, ow, ow, get out of me. That's what I get for being nice. I didn't squish the ant. I pulled it away from my skin and it went further up my sleeve and tried to bite me again. That's what I get for trying. I'm gonna go see that in the distance. Not a fan. Bye.